I'm getting ready to reconfigure my truck. I have to put a gooseneck hitch in for my new trailer, new used trailer. So I've got to dismantle all this stuff. Made this long box with a pull-out drawer. One time we went on vacation. I've been using it ever since. And that set of dog cages on the top that was supposed to be just temporary 8 years ago. We've got material to make nicer ones. The box is going to have to be out most of the time though. I'm going to try to make the new dog cages so that the box can slide underneath of it when I need it. So there'll be more, I'll do more videos of the various parts. But I've got to dismantle it, get that hitch in today. Good morning folks, I'm Mars 1952 and today I'm going to be putting in a pop-up gooseneck hitch on my Ford F350. It's a 2001 and I've had this hitch laying around for a couple of years. I had planned to buy a gooseneck trailer and never got around to it. Finally I couldn't do without it, so I had to go get one. Actually, I'm going to go get it after I put the ball on. So in the 2-year period I lost the instructions, so I went online to the pop-up website, pop-up brand. I don't remember how to tell you to get there, you have to figure that out yourself. The installation is pretty simple. It says figure out which of these 2 brackets has the deepest cut. That goes in the front. So that's what I'm doing here first. And they go in like this, with the angle upward. So that's the front, this is the back. Then this, the pop-up mechanism itself, that goes in with the ball part toward the front. So it goes together like in this orientation, like so. Now these brackets, they have it so that the angles where you bolt to face away from the frame, and this part goes toward the back. So this will go in, if this is the front, this is the back, this will go in over here like this, and this one will go over here. So I always hate to put in parts backwards. So it came with a box of bolts, a bag of bolts. I already had a tear in it. Hopefully there's nothing missing. But one thing that's supposed to be in here is a carriage bolt. Or does it say eye bolt? Maybe it's an eye bolt, that makes more sense. That threads into here. And you can rig up something to hold this up into the bed once you drill your hole. Now the first thing I have to do is drill a 3-inch hole. I haven't brought out my drill bit yet. I'll have to go back in and get it. A 3-inch hole, 50 and 5/16 from here to the middle of the bed. So I have to measure off side to side, find the middle, 50 and 3/16. Now I have this rhino liner sprayed in. It might be as thick as 1/8 of an inch. I have no way to figure out what that is without cutting a divot in it, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to just imagine that it's 1/8 of an inch, and I'll cut that 50 and 5/16 down to 50 and 3/16. And that's where I'm going to drill my hole. And hopefully I won't have to file it out and make it bigger and ugly. Alright, so I'll get my drill bit and I'll drill the hole. Got my tape measure. 50 and 3/16. I believe that this is the center piece, so I'll mark it on that. My pencil just barely shows up on there. If I take my eye off it, it'll go away. I'll mark it with that. Alright, so it's like 25 1/4 is going to be the middle. Again, yeah, that's the middle, 25 1/4. So I'll take my punch and mark it. Tell you what, that doesn't show up very well. Problem with Rhino liner. 25 1/4. .50 3/16. Alright, so I've got a mark there, but it's darn hard to see. Okay, so I've got my drill hooked up and 3-inch drill bit in here. You can drill a 3-inch hole in sheet metal with a smaller hole saw or smaller drill, but I like this one because it has a big handle. When it gets in a bind, it's not going to throw you out of the, you can control it. Now I'm going to drill a little bit of a hole here. Not a hole exactly. I'm just going to cut through the rubber. Let's see if I'm in the right place. Because that's the only place you can really screw up on this installation, is drilling the holes. Get the holes in the wrong place, it's going to be ugly. Everything underneath can be unbolted and rebolted. Let's see what we have here. Well, that's pretty darn good. 50 3/16. We've got 25 5/16 that way. Well, it is a little off center. Try that again. 25 9/16. So I need to go over a little bit. Move that over right here. Try again. All right. Doesn't want to hook on there. That's almost perfect that way. That's pretty darn good that way. Alright, so it's time to drill a hole. I'm going to set the speed down a little bit. Okay, there's some kind of a bracket under there that was not mentioned. Let's see what that is. There are a couple things you have to move underneath. That might be one of them. Alright, so they mentioned in the instructions to make sure you get rid of all these chips. So you're going to be working underneath, you don't want those to fall in your eye. Alright, the next step is under the truck. Okay, now I've got to raise the truck up a little bit. In the directions they say you want to raise up the bed 10 inches, but don't jack it up so high that you take the wheels off the ground. And you also have to chalk the front wheels. I put these are similar in front and back of both of the front wheels. You've got to do the front wheels because your parking brake and emergency brake both work off your back wheels. If you take those off the ground, you don't have any brakes, don't have any parking brake anymore. So I'm going to jack this up and put a jack stand under there. trailer hitch makes a convenient place to lift it up, especially since the truck is so tall. Alright, so I can see that the wheels are scooting just a little bit. So it's up as high as it needs to go. Now I'll get some jack stands. Alright, I put the jack stands in front of the axle, right at the front of the leaf springs. It should support it pretty well. You want to prevent the body from coming down closer to the axle, creating a pinch point where chop off the body part. Alright, so there's the jack stand. It could be a little farther forward, but the jack stand's not tall enough. It'd actually be best if it was right on the frame, but that should be adequate. Alright, under the truck here, we've got to take off the spare. Got to take loose that heat shield above the exhaust pipe. And there's one more thing. Got to take loose the emergency brake cable bracket that's on the left side. So on the right side, the passenger side, there's nothing in the way. So spare tire, heat shield, brake bracket. Truck comes with a big lug wrench that you can put on the end here and spin, but it doesn't take that much force. That's big and clunky, so I just put my little handy dandy multi-purpose tool on there. Now on the way up you might need a little bit more help. Alright, well I'm under the truck. I'm going to take the heat shield off. You need a 5/16 or 8mm socket. Nice long extension. So you can reach up far enough that you can get to it. This is probably a little long, but it'll still work. I'm using an air ratchet today. Now the camera angle is not that great. My tripod won't get any lower than that. I'll just take off a couple. And I'll bring the camera under here and show you. So there are, I can see 4, 7, 9. I can see 9 screws. They'll have to come off. Alright, we're under the truck. Might be focusing, I can't tell. And of course there's the hole. You can see it's blocked by the heat shield. So this heat shield's got to come out. It's fastened here, here, and I don't know if you can see it, another set of screws back there. Okay, it's now 9/16 and 14mm just wouldn't fit on here. 15mm seems to work. To break it loose. Well, if I have to hold it on the back or not, we'll find out here. Okay, so this has to be refastened through the bracket. I'm not sure if you use the same bolts or not. I'll have to check the directions. I would think the same bolt would work, but we'll see. Okay. I hope you can hear me okay. I'm on the passenger side of the truck. And I've got the rail with the deepest notches in it. That goes to the rear, so that has to go in first. I'm going to slide it through this little hole here. Open it. That's on the other side. Then you can work it up. I'll have to crawl underneath it to work it forward. You do the same thing with the front cross piece. So that goes in with the smooth part of the angle. You know, the angle without any holes in it. I'm going to move that back out of there a little bit. The smooth part goes to the front. cheated and tried to put two pieces in at once. I'm going to screw myself here. Alright, so this has to be worked forward, or rearward I mean, until it is 6 inches past that hole. But it's not very cooperative, so I'm going to have to persuade it from the outside. I think my bed is bent down a little bit here. That's the problem.